Good. That's a great shot. Okay, how's that? Okay.
You two almost have the same hairstyle.
Is that right?
Yeah.
All right, in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Roman Gabriel Show, RomanGabrielShow.com. Anywhere you get your podcasts, and I have a very special guest to finish out this great week. She is the daughter of what many people consider to be the greatest football player of all time. It's arguable, but he's definitely in that argument. One of the great running backs, Jim Brown, and with us is Kimberly Brown. And you know, the thing that really bothers me is she wore her dad's number 32 jersey, and if she would have told me that, I would have gone out and found my white number 18 jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Except the difference is he signed it.
Yes.
Kimberly, Jim Brown, Hall of Fame 71.
Yep.
2. And we were talking about this before the show. First of all, welcome to the Roman Gabriel Show.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here. Happy to be here.
Yes, I am really excited about this, but my dad used to do the same thing for me. In fact, I still have. I was going through some old stuff the other day, and he actually wrote on my birthday. It was like my 10th birthday. He gave me an autographed picture and said to Roman. And I said, you know, Dad, you could have just said to my son or to. So he actually did that after that. So you know, he did it both ways. So.
Okay.
So you know, it is really kind of strange. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
But our fathers came from a different era. That's for sure.
Definitely the same era.
Yes. And my dad came after Jim Brown, but he had a great deal of respect for him. Played against him early in his career.
Oh wow.
Because my dad came in the league. Yeah, my dad came in the league in '62.
Okay.
So
And
your
my dad left
was
at
just in
65.
the last 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
So he had a chance to see him in action. So I know he has a great deal of respect. And I, by the way, I was at the NFL Honors event 2 years ago in, I believe it was Atlanta.
Yes.
And saw your dad, called him over, and he did a short little interview with me.
Oh.
A part of it, we were talking about concussions.
Okay.
And the pension improvement for the pre-93 NFL players.
Okay.
So we asked him to comment on it. Of course, your dad, you know, can comment and does. So he told us exactly what he thought. So
what was his thoughts?
his thought was they need to get paid, that they deserve to be paid.
Yep.
So yeah, your dad was great. I've been with him a couple of times, but a long time ago, the time before. So. Honor to have you on the show. This is a lot of fun. And I'm going to tell you a quick story.
Okay.
I had Johnny Unitas' son on the show.
Oh, really?
This was years ago
Okay.
in Indianapolis at the Super Bowl, about 9 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I have a picture with he and I. And the reason why it's significant is my dad's idol was Johnny Unitas. And of course, Johnny Unitas and Jim Brown were the two best players back then. So it was a real honor to meet his son and to take a picture with him because we all have a lot in common.
Oh, yes.
So
You guys are sons of legends. I'm a daughter of a legend.
Yes.
Yes.
So, you know, I was a historian, football historian, because I grew up in that era of late 60s, 70s football. So, you know, my brother and I collected all the football cards and all that kind of stuff. So we've got fond memories of golden years of football. So
Oh, that's great.
your dad's so great that he actually made the 1969 25th anniversary Rams highlight film. And it wasn't because he was playing, it was because they were talking about the great teams and players of the era, and they mentioned, you know, Jim Brown. And so that was the first time I saw your dad was when I was about 9 years old. My dad brought this film home. It's like, what is Jim Brown doing on a Los Angeles Rams highlight film? And it was to document his greatness as a player. So yeah, you know, there's definitely connections. That's for sure.
Yes, definitely.
So what are you doing? What do you do?
Well, currently I'm working on a project. It's called Daughters of Legends.
Wow.
Yes. It's myself and Robin Charles, who's the daughter of Ray Charles.
Wow.
Yes. So we just filmed our pilot episode. in New York in October. It just came out of post-production. My dad actually came on as a guest star. It was amazing. The whole concept of the show is my father, back in 1967, he called all the top black athletes to meet with them in Cleveland with Muhammad Ali to discuss why he wasn't wanting to be drafted into the Vietnam War. So I'm recreating and expanding on that concept by calling the Daughters of Legends to come together to change the world.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so it's our activism work. We each have a cause that we want to make change, real change in our communities, in our country, and then expand it, internationally. So it's a whole network of women working together.
So tell me about what are some of the different causes that you're taking up?
I have 3 on the Daughters of Legends. I have to help federally legalize cannabis.
Yeah?
Yes. Currently starting with the state of Ohio. I want to start there. That's the state that, my dad played in, and start in Cleveland, and making moves in Cleveland. The second cause is pro-choice and vaccines. I don't believe they should be mandated. I feel like it's my body, my choice.
Yeah.
And the third is to fully fund single mothers for a higher education or to start a business.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was just thinking about the fact that right now is probably a great time to be taking up this, because we're more divided as a country than we've ever been.
Yes.
Although some people would remind us that during your father's time, during the 60s, that because we don't probably look close enough, that it was just as bad or worse.
I say that we've come further than my father's time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it, the racism and everything.
Everybody
is so
always
prevalent.
says it's the worst now. Because
Yeah,
that's
but
what
I don't
they know.
I don't see that. I don't see that because I don't experience that. So I can't say, their racism is just at an absolute high right now, compared to what my father went through. And that's the thing about Daughters of Legends is, we were born to these legendary men. They set the standard. They were the example in our lives. But they went through what they went through and experienced racism, experienced, horrific things, but now, they became legends out of it. They still were able to become who they are and still achieve the success, without anybody or anything holding them back. And that's the thing. It's like, okay, if there's racism or there's this going on in your community, well, what can you do to overcome that? So that's what Daughters of Legends is. It's we're being the examples to show women and to show, our country and people in our country how we can overcome these adversaries.
Kimberly Brown's with us right here on the Roman Gabriel Show, RomanGabrielShow.com. And what inspired you to do this?
My father did. I actually came up with the title Daughters of Legends. I approached him, and the first thing that came out of his mouth was, "I love it." And I was shocked. I was in shock because I never heard my father say that. And then he said, there's so many different things that you can do with this. So he already saw what this was. I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I just know that I had to go after it and, go through what I had to go through to get to where I'm at now.
Okay.
And not quit.
So obviously it sets up for you to bring in others into this that are interested in being involved, and they can bring their own causes to the table.
Exactly. So Robin Charles' her cause is about bringing arts, music back into the schools, having that. I also have another group. It's called Daughters of Sports, and we're actually here this weekend together.
Yeah.
And we're going to be hosting. We got a photo shoot going on and some interviews, and it is Tanisha Taylor, the daughter of Lawrence Taylor, and Brianna Jordan, the daughter of Brian Jordan.
Yeah.
So I have Daughters of Legends and I have Daughters of Sports.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So for those that want to get involved, young ladies out there in either one of these, where can they go to get involved or find some information? Are you guys working on that?
We currently are. We're just up and running, so not everything's where it needs to be. But if they would like to contact us, they can contact me on my Instagram at Kimberly.B as in boy .brown.
Kimberly.B as in boy Brown.
.brown.
Okay, Kimberly.B as in boy .brown.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes, and then
double
also,
dot brown. That's what you should have called it. Double dot brown.
double dot brown.
There you go.
And then we also have our Instagram page, which is Daughters of Legends.
Okay, good. That's easy.
Yes.
Daughters of Legends. I'm going to make sure I get on that.
Yes, and then I actually.
How come you're leaving out us sons? I mean, what are you guys, sexist, or we don't get to communicate this, or?
This is the decade of the woman.
Okay.
The woman. It's time for us to shine.
I've got a cause, by the way.
I know you do.
I know. Drug and alcohol education for young people, junior high and high school students.
Yes, so. I read about that, and I was just so impressed. I was like, this is much needed, definitely, especially with parents in the household that are alcoholics.
Yes.
I think that's definitely, for somebody to, give them another perspective.
Yes.
And lead them in the right direction instead of following their parent.
I'm with you when you talked about music and art in the schools, and I'm also on with continuing education and character training in drug and alcohol education, which has been totally cut out of schools.
Yes.
We come in there, we get supported by grants. But if we're not in the schools, nobody is.
No.
So my wife and I's goal for 25 years working with young people has been that we want to, more than ever, we need to develop this generation of leaders.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely.
And that's something that no amount of social networking and no amount of problems politically is going to solve. We've got to focus on the next generation.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
That's something all of us can unify around.
Oh yes, especially the children. Yes.
Yeah.
And my father actually has a program since 1986 called American Program, and it helps to reprogram the mind, not playing the victim, but, self-determination, self-responsibility, being a part of your family, being in your children's lives. And that's what I was thinking about with your program. I was like, you guys should combine that, and I think that'd be a heavy hitter.
Yeah, you're right, because there's never been a better time. Kids are really struggling. There's a lack of hope that is
especially
pervasive.
Now through COVID.
The COVID thing has been. It'll take years to find out how bad
the psychological
secondary effects of that on children have been. I was just glad that here in Florida, during Super Bowl in Tampa, we were able to go into a middle school for real in front of the kids because they're in school.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we had about 162 kids Wednesday and had great results, and hoping that we're going to bring our program down here to Florida with the open door.
Oh, amazing.
But yeah, to me, if they can do it here, I don't understand why they can't do it other places to get the kids back in school.
And
look at her face when you said that. I'm looking at my producer over here, Tyler, and he's like, I don't know. He's just shaking his head.
This is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I do not agree with what is going on. Kids need to be with kids. They need to be in school. They need to have that social setting. They do not need to be all masked up and it's just, it blows my mind. And that's why I love Florida. Thank God for your governor. Like, I do a little political. I'm in the politics a little bit.
You just said the same exact thing I said to them at the school. Mm-hmm. I said, thank you for your governor, because he gets it.
Yeah, he does get it.
He's put the kids first.
Yes.
And if we put the kids first, there's no way you should have them at home.
It's not healthy for them. They have no interaction. And what are they doing at home? Their parents are still having to work, so they're probably home by themselves.
Yeah. And taking care of their brother or sister rather than getting online and going to school. So
exactly.
I actually, was with a administrator the other day, and I said, well, when do you guys plan on going back to school? And he said, well, it's just really hard with what's going on, and I said, how can you continue to keep kids at home and expect that they're going to learn?
Yeah.
They're going on year 2 here.
Yep.
I mean, I had a couple of parents who said they were thinking about keeping their child back because socially they weren't ready.
Oh my gosh, are you
Well,
serious?
they weren't ready they didn't think they were ready, like from going from grade school to middle school, because the socialization factor,
Yes.
they really haven't had the opportunity to.
So now,
Yeah, so now you're trying to decide that, and then the other thing that bothers me is, and this has bothered me before COVID. Um, how can you expect kids to be mentally sharp and good in the classroom when they're not exercising? When you're cutting PE, when you're cutting
sports,
when you're cutting extracurricular activities.
yes, and that's what Daughters of Sports comes in, because we believe that sports should be in the school. That creates the mindset of a legend and creates discipline. They learn discipline. So you get that mindset when you have those extracurricular activities and you have those sports. And that's what we're going to be working on as well.
Kimberly Brown's with us. She's the daughter of the great Jim Brown of the Cleveland Browns, and she was nice enough to wear her wonderful jersey today so that you guys could share in that if you're watching on TV or on social networking. But your dad gets it. I mean, the thing that's being torn apart in our country, forget about race and black and white and all of those stuff.
Who cares about that?
It's the family. The family is what's being torn apart in our country, and if that continues to happen, we're going to be ceasing to be the America that people grew up and knew.
Yeah, our freedom.
We're at a real crisis point where people are going to have to speak up, and I'm glad you're doing what you're doing.
Oh, I'm definitely not afraid to speak up. I take after my dad on that one.
Yeah. Well, you're young though. What you're going to learn when you get my age is that you're going to look back and go, sometimes I need to not do that. But yeah, my wife sometimes she acts as my Solicitor
Your
General
buffer.
On that one, the buffer.
Yeah.
No, you don't want to discuss that. But yeah, it's something that needs to be addressed.
Definitely.
Our government's not taking it seriously.
Oh, they're definitely not. This is a political game that they're pulling on the American people, and it is just outrageous and horrific what they're doing. Now that we have a new president, now they're saying, oh, okay, now kids can go back to school.
Right.
Well, we knew that this wasn't affecting kids in the first place. So now we have somebody else in office. Now you want to open up, but you didn't care about the damage that it was caused this whole year.
You think that with kids that we could throw politics out the window and act like we care?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we act like we do. We just don't do it.
The actions.
The actions speak a lot louder than words.
Yep.
But, I was thinking with your dad. I grew up. I was 2 when my dad started playing football, and actually he was playing college football when I was born, but he didn't finish playing ball until I was a senior in high school. So how did you go back and watch the old films and things to learn about your father and what he accomplished in football?
Yeah, I actually did. I was just he's old school. I didn't really see a lot of jerking and jiving. He just ran straight over people, and I like his style. Like, I really like my father's style, and I was actually training for running back in 2020 in flag.
Yeah.
I actually was playing tackle with the LFL, formerly the lingerie to the Legends, and I was playing defensive end. But 2020, I was playing flag football, and I was training as running back. And I really wanted to get back into contact because I was like, I just want to hit people.
That's serious stuff, that league.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
it
is.
Let me tell you, you guys are tough. I've seen it. There's some girls that can hit, man.
We take hits, and it's unbelievable. And I was so honored to be on that team and part of that league.
So what other sports have you played?
I played basketball, but that was back in high school.
Yeah.
And I played everything: basketball, soccer, volleyball, and then I just got into football a couple years ago. And my dad actually came to one of my games. In Los Angeles.
That's cool.
Yeah, so he really liked the league. I was like, Dad, what do you think? He was like, yeah, I like it. Even my mom was saying that too. They're like, yeah, invite us to another game when you're playing.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, so it was really cool.
Yeah, well, you're in Super Bowl City in Tampa. Are you guys doing something special this weekend? Is that right, you were telling me?
Daughters of Sports, we're hosting an event tomorrow night at Jackson Bistro. And then I really actually wanted to go and speak tomorrow with a women's shelter. I wanted to go speak with the women there and give them encouraging words and seeing, what's going on in their lives and just, have a personal conversation and do probably an interview on Monday before we leave out.
There you go. So you had said to me off the air that you're moving to Atlanta. Is that right?
No, I live in Atlanta.
Oh, you live in Atlanta now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you do for a living?
Well, I actually just completed my first movie, my acting debut.
Really?
Yes.
There's another one. Your dad, left football early to be an actor.
That's what I'm doing.
So what? Tell me about that.
It was a movie called One Night in Miami, directed by Regina King.
Mm-hmm.
It just dropped on Amazon January 15th.
Okay.
It's about my father, Cassius Clay, Sam Cooke, and Malcolm X.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was back in 1964 when Cassius Clay fought Sonny Liston for the world championship. And I play Sonny Liston's wife, Geraldine Liston.
Really?
Yes.
Well, they must have had to make you up for that one, right?
Yes,
Make
they
you
did.
look a little older.
Yeah, I looked back in the 60s.
Yeah.
I had my hair and, that old style glam. I looked really great.
So is the acting thing something you want to continue to pursue?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, did you have any formal training at all, or did you go to school for that? Or
When I was a kid, so everything that I was doing as a kid, when I was 12, 13, 14, 15, I'm doing now.
Uh-huh.
Playing sports, acting. I just wanted to be just like my father.
Yeah.
And, that dream kind of went away, and then I rediscovered it, and I was like, you know what, nothing's going to hold me back from doing it, not even age, nothing. I'm going to do what I want to do.
Well, the opportunities for young ladies and women is incredible today with Title IX. And the opportunities for scholarships academically in sports, not just a couple sports, but all across the board.
Yes.
So, I hope that we get back into full go on men's basketball and football, because those are the two sports that help pay for the other ones. So,
there we go.
We need to get those back in action so that all the, other sports can
Women's
thrive
sports.
again as well. So, I hope with this vaccine that we're going to get back to sports in some sort of normalcy, hopefully by the summer, I would hope. It's amazing the NFL was able to play a Super Bowl. I mean, it really is. They're doing it.
I'm going to just... I think, definitely, I don't know about, if the vaccine will get us there. But, I feel that, we should get back to normal.
You know what a lot of the guys said this week, though, that I talked to, because I was trying to wonder, some of the guys opted out before the season and other guys didn't. But I was talking to Matthew Slater today, who's a really incredible player for the New England Patriots. And I asked him, I said, you had several guys that opted out. Did you ever think about that? He said, yeah, I had to, because, we have older grandparents, and some of the guys had them in their home. And, you don't want to bring this not knowing back into your home to your grandma or grandpa.
I get that.
Or somebody who's got a secondary condition. So, I never really thought about that. And then one of the wives of one of the coaches for the Bucs was here today. And she said it was really hard on the kids and on the wives because they had to do the same thing the players did. The tracing, their kids, even though other kids are in school, theirs are not.
Oh, wow.
Because of protecting the players. So she said it was really hard.
Yeah, a lot of people have to make a lot of sacrifices, and I get it from both sides, I understand that you want to protect your family, you want to be cautious, I understand that. But me, I'm more of a free spirit.
Well, if you're under 50, though, you're in really good shape. I mean, 99.9% is a pretty good figure. I mean, you and I got a better chance of getting hit by a car outside the convention center than dying from COVID.
Yeah, well, there you go. Okay, good.
I actually had COVID a year ago.
Oh, you did?
In February, before they said
Announced
it was COVID. Had it for 3 weeks. sick as I've ever been in my life.
Really?
But I don't have secondary problems, so I never once thought about going to a hospital. I was just having terrible flu.
Yeah.
Trouble breathing, deep breaths, and
Oh, wow.
and of course they didn't know what it was, so the doctors are giving me antibiotics, which don't work for viruses. So went to 2 doctors, and they said, yeah, there's something going around. You'll probably have it for about 3 weeks. And
they didn't know what it was.
Oh, I know. So after I got it, I probably got a false sense of security. It's like, I'm not gonna get it. I got the antibody. I mean,
yeah.
My body already took care of that.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's been a weird year.
I actually got sick on set when filming in One Night in Miami. I was in New Orleans, and it was beginning of February. I had a flu because I was taking flu medication, but I didn't have the symptoms that everybody else had. It was just like a regular flu to me.
Well, see, the younger you are, though, the less the effects. I mean,
okay.
It's either you don't have any symptoms at all, or the symptoms are cold-like, and it lasts for a couple, 3 days.
Okay.
But
yeah, that's what mine was, a couple days.
But for adults, some adults really struggle with it. That don't have strong immune systems. Now, I have a really strong immune system.
See, that's the problem. We need to get our health in order.
Well, part of what we did this year, when we found out the students were socially distancing and that they were distance learning, we went to some of the administration schools and asked, what is it that we can bring to the table that you guys need? And they said, these kids aren't doing PE, and their PE teachers aren't really engaging much with them, because they're having to do core classes, the basic classes for 4 or 5 hours. So we created a fitness, health, and wellness program where I went out and I got some of my friends from the NFL and some others from that I know that are in the medical field.
Awesome.
One that's a neuroscientist, another one that's a mental success coach, another one that was a yoga coach, and another NFL player that was cross training workout type of thing.
Oh wow, cross training.
And so I asked them to video workouts for the students, and what we did was we provided all this information on COVID, provided mental, physical, and emotional help for them from professionals, and then provided these exercise programs that they could do at home with their brother and sister in the yard. And then we went to the PE teachers, and said, hey, this is a great way for you to engage with your students, to give them something, they weren't really doing electives, so this gave them the opportunity to, have something to do besides math, history, and, and biology. So.
No, that's great, because the children need that, because if you're in the house locked down, how is your immune system?
Yeah.
Really, you're not going outside, you're not interacting, so you still have to stay healthy.
Right.
And what better way than to engage with the students, do it together, have a video by professionals? No, that makes complete sense. I think that was great to do.
Well, and the other thing is the one positive from this is that I think everybody's taken out of is it's definitely slowed people down, because we're such a rush society.
Oh yeah.
And we constantly have something in front of us, whether it's a phone or an iPad or a computer, or we're going from meeting to meeting, and we're never stopping. We're not getting great sleep.
Yeah.
So everybody I've talked to during this, when I talked to a bunch of them on Zoom this week, have all said the same thing. What it did do for me and my family was to help us focus again on family and help us slow down.
Yes, slow down. Yes,
and
that's
to begin to take, assess your situation, which this society
what's important.
doesn't do.
Yeah.
We think too much. But Kimberly Brown's with us right here on the Roman Gabriel Show at RomanGabrielShow.com. So are you staying for the game?
I actually want to go to the game.
You do?
I do. I don't have a ticket though.
Okay.
So if anybody like to.
So what I'm hearing is there's 20,000 tickets. They're giving 6,500 or so to first responders.
Okay.
Then the corporates, and then a mix of the season ticket holders by lottery.
By lottery?
Yeah,
Really?
because all the season ticket holders for Kansas City and Tampa can't get in with, basically 13,000 other tickets.
Wow.
So they had to do a drawing. So they said earlier in the week that tickets were going for like $7,500.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I have a ticket friend of mine that's a ticket vendor who said they've gone down to 4,000 as of yesterday.
Oh, that's good.
And then they think it might go as low as 3,000 a ticket by game time.
Okay.
So they're in the business of secondary tickets and stuff, but like you said, there's just not enough tickets. So the demand is there because anybody really wants to see it. But
Yeah.
they had something that was really interesting. They said last year, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl the first time in 50 years, and a lot of the people gave up everything they had to go to Miami to see history.
Oh, yeah.
And now with COVID and them have already done that, the Chiefs fans aren't going to be here because they're going to watch it on TV. And
Oh, that's true.
why take a chance to come down to COVID? We did our deal last year, spent our money, and did what we did.
That makes sense, too.
And then Tampa,
Tampa has to come out now.
Yeah, well, Tampa has to come out, but the
Tampa
problem
has
is
to come
the
out.
regular fan in Tampa can't go to the game because you've got only 20,000 tickets.
Okay.
And
And
most of
it's
the tickets
3,
are
4,
going to
5,
the season
6.
ticket holders
Yeah.
and the corporates and the 6,000 to the first responders. You're left with no tickets.
Yeah. I think what it should have been done is just, hey, here are the tickets. Whoever wants to come, come.
Right.
I think.
Well, the thing
think
that's been surprising when you watch an NFL game is you'll see the whole upper deck is empty. So why isn't there another 10,000 tickets for the upper deck?
Yeah.
Where you're social spacing and where you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, and you're outside anyways.
Yeah.
So that part I've never been to. It must be the concession thing and the people coming in and
gotcha.
going out.
Yeah. Maybe not at social distance
Yeah,
because of
just
the
crowd
traffic.
problem. Yeah, so that must be what it is. So we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt on that.
Okay.
But one more time, give us how they can get a hold of your new organization.
You can get in touch with me on Instagram at kimberly.b as in boy .brown or at Daughters of Legends, or my email at kimberly.b.brown@gmail.com.
Okay, Daughters of Legends, Kimberly Brown. What a pleasure. When I found out that you were here, I said I have to meet her because
I came down here specifically for this interview.
Well, I appreciate that.
This was such an honor. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. When Brenda asked me, do you want to do a Zoom or in person? I'm like, in person. Like, I want to meet him.
But you know what? We do, regardless of color, background, or whatever, have something in common. And that is our fathers played in the greatest time in the history of the NFL.
Yes. Yes.
And during a time when the NFL was really a sport that they would have played for free if they could have.
Yeah.
It's just a totally different place, but the innocence of the game, the love and interaction with the fans, the development of our country in a lot of ways during the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic to meet you, and I wish you nothing but luck with your endeavors and your acting career.
Thank you very much.
Let's stay in touch.
Yes, definitely.
And we'll
And I definitely want to work with your organization as well. We have to do something.
Yes, I would love that. That would be totally awesome because, if we, again, don't take care of the next generation of kids, we're certainly going to be in deep, deep trouble. And right now, we need to help kids more than ever.
Oh, yeah, definitely more than ever right now.
Kimberly Brown, and she wore that lovely jersey, the Jim Brown jersey, signed by her father. Isn't that great?
Number
To
32.
Kimberly from Jim Brown, number 32.
Yeah, Browns. My Browns. I was really rooting for them.
You know what? They came a long way.
They
What a
came.
great
I'm
year.
so proud of them.
I know.
I am so. I'm so happy.
Yes.
I was like, we're still winners. I'm like, we didn't make it to Super Bowl, but we got so far, second round playoffs.
Next year, right?
Next year.
Stepping stone. You got to
Next
start
year.
somewhere.
Thank goodness for our new coach. Like, he did his thing.
That's right.
Yes.
Kimberly Brown right here on the Roman Gabriel Show. When we come back, more from Tampa and Radio Row, Super Bowl 56. Nice.
I still don't understand how y'all got
The helmet to helmet. I'm going to blame the helmet to helmet.
Very nice. I enjoyed that.
Thank you so much for having me.